Hey, what's up everybody? I am finally back doing some more vlogs and I've got an exciting announcement to make today. In about an hour and 30 minutes, maybe even less than that, I am going to be picking up my brand new 2023 Porsche GT4RS. That's right, I've decided to get a new car. The old Mercedes that I had, that I bought back in 2017, which was the 2018 AMG C63S Coupe, I have officially traded that in about a week ago, maybe a little over a week now. And I am upgrading in a very, very big way with the Porsche GT4RS. Now, I'm sure you guys are going to have tons of questions. Why you got this car, how much it costs, what's the insurance like, you know, how did you come to this decision? Did you keep the Mercedes? Did you, well, no, I didn't keep the Mercedes. I did trade the Mercedes in. But I will go through all of those details, or some of them a little bit later on in this video. And then, of course, I will be making tons of other videos on very specific subjects or questions that you guys may have about the car itself. And I'll be sure to be as transparent as possible with all of that. So what does that mean here for the channel? Well, you're not going to get a whole lot more Grand Theft Auto stuff here, at least for the spring, summer, fall. You're going to get more yard sale related content, obviously car related content. I've already reached out to my local track. We are going to be tracking the car and hopefully be able to track it once. I would say once every 2 weeks. I'd like to hit the track and really, work in the car and drive it like it's supposed to be driven, because there's only so much you can do on public streets, obviously. But yeah, this is a big day for me. I never thought that I would ever own a car quite like this. Yeah, I mean, it still doesn't feel real, I guess, until I go down there and take delivery of it. So the content's going to be a little bit different this time around. I'm not using GoPros and all that stuff. I'm literally just using my iPhone. I did get a wireless Rode mic, so hopefully the audio quality is pretty good. Bear with me for the first few videos as I try and tweak things and find proper levels and stuff like that. And I've also got the, I've got the Ray-Ban Metas, so that you guys will be able to get first-person POV of me actually driving the car, so you can get a feel of what it's like behind the driver's seat as well. Unfortunately, with these, they only film in vertical, so, in between the videos, you might see some that are vertical and some that are horizontal, but that's just the way it is. I'm trying to make the content a little bit more digestible, a little bit shorter form stuff, so that you guys aren't here too long. But I want to just give you a quick rundown on what's going down. The next time you see me, we will be in the Porsche dealership taking delivery of my 4RS, and I'll be sure to show you guys all of the vehicle, the exterior, the interior. We're going to show my family. We're going to have a ton of fun with this, and I'm open to suggestions on the type of content that you would like me to make with the vehicle. I don't want to ramble on too much, because this is probably going to be a lengthy video. So the next time you see me, we'll be in the dealership. We're at the Porsche dealership. This is my boy. Can you wave hi? Can you let everybody know what your name is?
Kai.
Kai, that's it. And what's Daddy picking up right now?
A car.
What kind of car is it?
Porsche.
Porsche. He even says it right. Come on, let's over here. Oh boy. Oh boy. So underneath that right there is Daddy's new car. It is the Porsche GT4RS. I guess we'll wait for our salesperson to come over, and then we'll get it going.
So you're gonna put it all the way there.
Yeah, so you're gonna grab it, and then we're gonna walk to the back, okay? You ready? All right, in 3, 2, 1. Oh, look at that. Wow. Do you like it? Wow. Wow. Oh, you all right back there? Wow. You want to get in? You want to sit in it? You be the first one.
go. Here, I'll grab the camera. Wow. Look at that. Chilling in the 4RS. All right, guys, here it is. We're just finishing up the paperwork. Got me a couple of, I got this Optimus Prime Porsche. It's the closest thing to the Shark Blue that they had. Got another key fob one, but just a black. And I'm getting a model of this to put on my desk. What else did I get? Oh, they hooked up my son with a Porsche t-shirt, and we got some bags and things like. We're just going through some of the swag and then just finishing up. But take a look at this, guys. You know what's crazy too is this is pre-owned, by the way. There was 500 kilometers on it, so I don't know what that is in miles, maybe 300 miles. Basically, a guy got this, drove it for a very, very short period of time, actually got the majority of it PPF'd. This is already PPF'd. All the entire front, the door, the doors, the mirror, and then the line stops right here. So basically what I need to do is I need to finish PPFing the top, the full back. I don't know if the wing has been PPF'd. It doesn't feel like it. So yeah, I got a little bit of PPF work to do, but a lot of it is already done, which is nice, which gives me the confidence to like drive it around momentarily until I can get in. But what's crazy is when they finally got the car here just a couple of days ago, because it came from Montreal, the kilometers on it was exactly 718, and this is the 718. They took a photo of it. If I can get that photo before I release the video, I'll put it up there on the screen, which is pretty cool. But my God, like this is absolutely insane. My son and wife left. We literally picked up my son right from school, so he was really tired. But we'll get more of a genuine reaction and stuff from him when he's not half out of it. And Kayla just got off from doing some work too, so she didn't really want to be on camera. But look at this. Look at this. This is so fucking sick. All right, guys, I've been filming a bunch today, but I wanted to do something quick for social media. I'm in my brand new GT4RS. Listen to this. I can't believe I own this. I cannot believe this is going home in my garage. Listen to the downshifts. This is my new 2023 Porsche GT4RS in the Shark Blue with the Weissach package on there as well. So you do have your exposed carbon fiber hood. You do have the exposed carbon fiber wing. You also have the racing seats inside the vehicle. You've got the carbon fiber air scoops here. Also the ones that are up here. Now on the GT4, these are windows, but they remove that to feed in air to go through the intake. And my God, does that ever sound absolutely insane. I mean, you guys have probably already heard a couple of clips, either in this video or the previous video, but when I tell you guys that this might actually be the best sounding car from the interior ever produced for a street car, I'm not joking. It has got to be in the top 3. And I'm not just blowing smoke up this car's ass because I own it. It's just facts. This thing sounds incredible. Also, because of the Weissach package, you also are given the option to get magnesium wheels,
which I do have. I do not have the carbon fiber brakes. The spec, because I bought this car used, which I will talk about. I didn't actually spec this car myself, but funny enough, when I went to go and spec the car myself before I did a search around Canada to see if I could pick one of these up, I pretty much built the exact same car with the exact same spec outside of the carbon fiber brakes and the front lift. So this car does not have the front lift, which is unfortunate because I am from Nova Scotia and the roads here are atrocious. Although I'm kind of lucking out right now because we just got out of winter, we're now into spring, and a lot of the patches on the roads have finally been done. So it isn't as bad as it was about a month ago, but here in Nova Scotia, we have horrible, horrible roads. So I really wish that it had a lift, and I was pretty much told they can't really put one on after the fact. It pretty much needs to be done during the manufacturing process. It can't happen, but it's very, very expensive to do. And to be honest, the way that I've been driving this car so far, and I spent a lot of hours into it yesterday, I haven't had any issues. It's a very low car. It's even lower than the GT4, but it still works out for myself. And this isn't also a daily driver for me, although it will be likely for the next month as until the novelty kind of wears off just a little bit. Which I also said about my Mercedes when I had that, and that novelty never really weared off. I love that car all the way up until the end, and I will talk a little bit about how I ended up getting this and why I ultimately decided to go with the GT4RS. But anyway, I digress. Let's get back to the spec of the car. On the inside, we also got the bucket seats as well, which are carbon fiber, and also I got all the carbon fiber trimmings inside there. And I will bring the camera around a little bit later on in this video and just give you a super fast rundown of the interior of the car. And I will have a dedicated video about the intricacies of what this car can do. But right now I'm going to keep it surface level. And big part of that is because if I'm being 100% honest with you guys and transparent, I am not a massive car enthusiast. Okay? I love cars. I have been appreciating them more and more as I've been getting a bit older and as I've owned some nice cars myself. But now that I've owned this, I'm starting to become an actual car enthusiast, and that's because it's the way that this car makes you feel. Now, another reason why I ultimately decided to go with the 4RS, even over the 3RS, which I was offered, is because this vehicle makes you feel like you belong in it. At no point while driving this vehicle yet have I felt scared of the car, have I felt like I'm gonna lose control of the vehicle. What this Cayman has done is it's taken all of the best things about the 3RS and made it a little bit more approachable from a non-professional or a car enthusiast that have driven supercars pretty much, you know, their entire life or for a long time, where they have gotten used to the power, used to the balance, all of that stuff. This car pretty much does it all for you, and it does it stock. So the moment you get into this, you have got the thrills of a 3RS, but with the confidence of what I had when I drove my Mercedes, for example. Now, that doesn't mean that this car still can't be a little scary. I mean, this thing is extremely fast. It revs all the way up to 9,000 RPMs. That's right, 9,000 RPMs. And as you get between 8,000 and 9,000 RPMs, that's when this vehicle, in my opinion, makes the GT3RS sound just a little bit like a little brother, if I'm being honest. I know a lot of people will consider this car sort of the I don't know. I don't want to necessarily say the baby brother. I think maybe it's okay, I'll say it, the baby brother. People may think this as the baby brother simply because it's a bit of a smaller car, it's in a Cayman chassis, But my God, when it comes to the way that this thing screeches, there ain't nothing baby about it. This, my friends, is the cream of the crop. And I know I'm getting a little animated here, I'm getting a little excited, but how could you not get excited when you take a look at this? This is nasty. It is absolute nasty. So, how did I get to the 4RS? Let me give you guys a quick rundown of my car journey. Just so that I know that there will be people that'll watch this car. Hey, who is this dude? You know, did he have mommy and daddy's money? What is he, a drug dealer? I mean, I've heard all of this shit before, even when I had the Mercedes, you know, and I spent $111,000 on my Mercedes 7 years ago. And I've spent a substantial more money on this car. And to be honest, I never thought that I would buy a car quite like this, but here I am. So I originally, my very first new car, and I won't get into all of my beaters that I've had and stuff throughout my teenage years and into my early 20s, but my first brand new car that I ever bought was a 2012 Mitsubishi Lancer that had a GT package on it. And don't get me wrong, I love that car. It was fun. I was young. I was just starting to make a little bit of money. And that was what I went out and treated myself with. And then from there, I upgraded and got myself a 128i with a M Sport package BMW, which was a lot of fun. And then from the BMW, I went and purchased the 2018 AMG C63S Coupe. And that's what really kind of turned me on into getting and enjoying really nice vehicles and appreciating nice vehicles, not only just from the look, from the aesthetic of them, but also how they drive and how they made you feel. Now, I have had that Mercedes for over 7 years, and I was planning on upgrading and getting a new vehicle next year in 2025. The reason why is because I do have a decent amount of money coming from several rental properties that I will be able to do a refinance out of in about 15 months. So I knew that I was going to come into some money. I have also been saving up some cash as well because I've always been against debt, period. And I know I will get into the numbers and I'll get into all of this, but I'm trying to explain myself a little bit as to how I made this thing work and why I ultimately decided to get this. So I was planning on waiting so that I could buy the next car that I get in cash, as when I bought my Mercedes, I had saved up for a period of time and I had bought that car in cash back then. Now, I don't want to get into, oh, never pay cash for cars, blah, blah, blah. We can have a dedicated video for that down the road, and I'll be more than happy to debate or give my point of view as to why I prefer to live a debt-free life outside of rental properties that bring me in income. But with that being said, because I was waiting until next year, I also realized that interest rates are likely going to start coming down this quarter coming. And will, at least here in Canada. I can't speak on the US, but I think so as well. Got an election year, all that other stuff, but we won't get into all that. But the car market has softened just a little bit, right? So even over the last 9 months, the supercar market has softened, and this car has softened a little bit. Now, I still paid over MSRP for this. If you're ever going to buy a GT4RS, a 3RS, any type of 911, any of these higher end Porsches, you are going to be paying over MSRP. I mean, it's just really that simple. And it is virtually impossible to get an allocation for one of these cars. You pretty much have needed to buy Porsches for a while, or perhaps you got to marry the general manager's daughter and then, you know, promise to trade the car back in after, 3 months so that they can resell it. There's a lot of hoops that you got to go around to be able to get one of these cars. So I knew that I was going to be looking to buy a vehicle next year. A Porsche really wasn't on my radar. It was slightly because I have done a fair amount of work with Porsche Esports Canada, and I've done commentary for a lot of their events over the last 3 years. So I've been in tune with Porsche, but I never really visualized me owning a Porsche. I've always been a Mercedes type of guy, and then what I really wanted to do was get a Lamborghini Huracan. Now, I know the Lamborghini Huracan is very different than the GT4RS, and also it doesn't help a lot of the issues that I spoke about earlier about being low to the ground, about my shitty roads, all that stuff. But for whatever reason in my mind, I always just wanted a Lamborghini. And I can confidently say now that I've owned the Porsche, I am extremely happy I did not go down that route. Now, here's the reason why I didn't go down that route, or at least continue to look into getting one, is simply because here in Nova Scotia, we do not have a Lamborghini dealership, which means I would have to go and buy a Lamborghini from out of province, typically in Montreal or Toronto, and then every year for service, I would have to ship my car from Nova Scotia to another province, which I had done my research, I had called dealerships, I had even flown out to Montreal about 8 months ago to the Lamborghini dealership. I was also visiting friends, but I had made a trip there to get more information and the things that I could and couldn't do when it came to Lamborghinis in my province. And unfortunately, with a $5,000 bill just in shipping, because you have to, they won't ship it unless it's enclosed because of the value of the vehicle, and then also you just want to protect it, it's going to cost about $2,500, between $2,200 and $2,500 each way. Then you also have to get all of the maintenance done and so on and so forth. Now, there might be some people that listen to this vehicle and say, well, Jeff, if you're planning on getting a Lamborghini Huracan, why the fuck are you worried about the price of shipping? Well, because I don't like burning money. You know, these things are toys. These are, for the most part, a depreciating asset. Now, I understand when you own a car like this, it can appreciate and or hold its value. But with that being said, I'm also not into the business of burning money to burn money. So I said, okay, well, what are my other options? I looked at McLaren. We also do not have a McLaren dealership here in Nova Scotia. And then I opted to take a look at Porsches. Now, originally I was looking at potentially buying a GT3RS. Why? Because I knew that that is the darling of Porsche. That is the car that you want to get if you want to go to the track, if you want to, you know, you want to be a beast on the streets, you want to do whatever, that's the car you get. Well, when I was doing some research, somebody on some YouTube video had a debate about the 3RS and the 4RS. Now, I've heard of the 4RS. I do love the Cayman chassis, but I always thought that, well, if I'm gonna upgrade the Mercedes, I want to go to the tippity top. I want to go to the top of the food chain, hence the 3RS. But after doing a bunch of research on this vehicle and talking about some of the things I've already described here in this video, I had a pretty good idea or a pretty good understanding of what I was potentially getting into. So that's when I did the search across Canada to see if there were any of these available. There were two, specifically in the Shark Blue, because once I found out about the 4RS, I obviously went on the Porsche website. I started to spec out my own car. I called my local dealership, and they were basically like, we can't just get you an allocation. This isn't a car you can just buy. And that's when we started to search around Canada, and there was two of them. This one was in Montreal. There was another one available in Vancouver, but the one in Vancouver was about $20,000 more expensive. So with an extra 20 grand, I was like, oh boy, I don't know. We ended up finding this one. This car was for sale for $290,000. So I discussed with them, we started negotiating a little bit, And when I felt comfortable enough that we were at a good price, which I will talk about exactly how much I paid for this and break down that a little bit later on this video, that's when they said, well, do you want to pull the trigger on this? Because this car isn't going to last. Like, this is going to go. And remember, I didn't really want to buy a car until next year. I was trying to set up an allocation so that I could purchase one next year, which would give me enough time to save a bit more money. And then when I do the cash out refinance on the real estate project that I've been working on over the last couple of years, I would have enough to buy the car outright. Well, here it is. I ultimately decided that I was going to fly out to Montreal that same day, and I did. And the next morning, I took this out for a test drive. After I took it for a test drive, within 5 minutes of driving this car, I knew that this was going to be my next vehicle. It didn't take anything more than that. I am so fucking happy I never got a Lamborghini, and I am so happy that I got the GT4RS.